Hello and welcome back to the channel. The open world survival game known as Dying Light 2 is only a very short time away, and I think everyone needs a reminder as to why you should be playing this game or just keeping it on the wish list. Now do remember to go like and subscribe guys so you don't miss the best tips and tricks that I'll be giving you for this game, as well as other big titles coming soon, realistically this month. And that being said, let's get into the video. Now Dying Light 2's story takes place 15 years after the original game. Humans, although still alive, are lowering in numbers day by day, but factions exist and are constantly at war for resources and territory. Zombies may be the hunters now, but from what I can tell, they're not the only ones you should be watching your back around. Now our main protagonists go by the name of Aiden and his sister Mia, who was separated at 5 years old after being experimented on at a mysterious facility. He's on a personal quest to find his sister, who is the key to unlocking his foggy past and finding out who he really is. Now, Aiden is a member of a group of traveling people known as the pilgrims, who can also be seen as a Ronin or courier, all in one, and the last form of communication between human settlements, giving him the unique skills of being able to traverse the world in the parkour way that Dying Light 2 wants you to do. Big thing to note here is you won't need to have played the original game to understand the story, as it is a completely new narrative written by some of the best in the business, including writers from my personal favorite game, The Witcher 3, especially some of their better quests, promising an ambitious story with exciting consequences, which we'll get into later. The game is rumored to have around 100 hours of content, although the campaign is set to clock in at 15 to 20 hours for anyone just interested in a great story-driven experience. I know I'm about to say this guy's name wrong, but Smectala previously revealed that you'll only see roughly 50% of Dying Light 2 on your first playthrough, which gives a very interesting take on replayability, especially when you can play up to 4 players co-op as well. Now, not much has been given away about the setting of the game, and it has been reported by gaming outlets that monuments like the Arc de Triomphe, I think I've said that right, and the Brandenburg Gate has been spotted, and from what I've dissected from numerous sources, I can see that the game will be moving west from the original game, set in fictional Turkish city of Harran. But here's where the fun starts. The map is now 4 times larger than all of the first game combined, including expansions. The game also features several different regions to explore with different architectural designs, giving the more advanced parkour system a chance to shine. An example of this given was an area filled with rickety and crumbling buildings that will give way under your weight, meaning that you'll need to be more responsive. It should also be noted that the game is very choice orientated in the open world design and decision making, as I've mentioned earlier. In the case you'll only see 50% of the world, the tough choices you make, such as joining one faction, forces a rivalry with another, changing the world you know by organically locking certain areas and accessing the others. The organic choice system doesn't just limit you in terms of areas you can access. No, lead game designer Timon Smectala, I know I've said that wrong again, has gone on record to say, when you restore an abandoned structure, it becomes a functional building. He explains that it starts to offer you a lot of new opportunities. There might be vendors that offer you unique items, or maybe some quests or new collectibles, or maybe even NPCs that you can talk to, which usually leads to new adventures. You can even gain access to try new exotic weapons, as well as so much more. This system is very impressive and looks to deliver on the scale Dying Light wants to set and improve, with free upgrades for new gen consoles, as well as post-launch support for around 5 years as well. Now, the factions mentioned so far are the Peacekeepers, which, yes, I know, big reference to the Hunger Games here, and very similar also. They rule with an iron fist if given the opportunity. They are a military faction composed of former soldiers whose goal is to maintain peace and order in the new world. Despite their noble cause, they are known for using quite aggressive methods that have inspired fear to those opposed to them. The Renegades are a violent and wild faction formed by ex-prisoners who are led by Chris Williams, a man known as the Colonel. While their objectives are somewhat unclear, they have nevertheless become a notorious organization for wreaking havoc in the new world. They are going to be a pain in the ass. I know it, you know it, we all know it. The survivors are a group of ordinary civilians who have abandoned together to survive in the city. They are the most peaceful of the 3 factions, but preferring to scrounge areas for any means to stay alive. Despite this, they can still defend themselves, albeit with the use of less effective weapons compared to those employed by the Peacekeepers and Renegades. So customization is probably going to be a little bit key in trying to help these guys out. In addition to large story-heavy factions like the 3 I've mentioned, there are smaller wildcard factions. These groups can still impact the world, but in less grand ways compared to key factions. For example, a wildcard faction is Untainted, who are very much into cultivating drugs. You can also pit factions against each other, making for excellent distractions as you sneak by and infiltrate a new area. A lot of research and development went into the Dying Light 2 parkour system, even going as far as to consult with David Bell, the man recognized as being the father of parkour, helping to add more advanced movement animations, realistic running speeds, gravity mechanics, and clever additions to help you traverse the world, safer with slowed down air times and slow motion sequences, trying to help with simulation sickness, causing people to feel dizzy or ill. Ultimately, the Dying Light 2 parkour system is meant to be as realistic as possible, and even adding its own skill tree for players to enjoy and master. I'll be going over this in a separate video, finding the best skills for you to use, don't you worry. Now, the Infected, I didn't really want to give too much away about this. I'm quite excited myself, so I'll give you the circulating names of the confirmed Infected and some of the information on my favorite personal Infected. Now, there's the Demolisher, Viral, Fighter, Volatile. Now, my personal favorite is a beast going by the name of Revenant, who is an advanced form of a Volatile. A Revenant has many similar features, but with the addition of tentacle-like limbs that spread from its back due to another unnatural evolution of disease. This beast can shoot a mist from its body that empowers other effective enemies close by, fueling them with stronger attacks and a more aggressive behavior towards you. In other games, this is kind of known as a kind of aggro to kind of push them towards you a little bit. For those familiar with the first game, you'll already understand these mechanics of this game, but if you don't, then here's the best advice I can give you when it comes to the Infected. The game runs on a night and day cycle, which can affect the behavioral mechanics of the Infected. When the sun starts to set, run. Run as fast as you can, and make sure you remember to hit that like, subscribe button on the way so you don't miss the next one. And yeah, take it easy, man.
Hey, you. Seen any signs of renegades around here?
No.
See, Private? Now calm down and let Aglot think.
What's there to think about? Why not head back to base?
Who the heck are you, anyway?
I'm someone offering to help. I'll check what happened to the power. You know anything else about it?
That's top secret military information.
We're trying to figure out how to get up there.
Just go ahead and tell him everything, why don't you? Every last detail.
Well, what's the big secret, huh? We need to get this piece of shit working, that's what.
My colleague's vastly oversimplifying things, but his gist is correct. There are obvious signs of the electricity having returned, and this here appears to be a substation. It and others like it are capable of transmitting electricity throughout the city. We have orders to get this building functioning once more.
Meaning, turn it back on.
Unfortunately, without climbing equipment, access to it is severely limited.
I can climb up there without the equipment.
You'd be willing to do that? You'd be doing a great favor for the Peacekeeper.
Uniform! Jackpots! Electricity brings all the fun. Just raring to get flamed.
What was that he
I
said?
think it was something about his mother and a goat.
PK morons! We'll be taking that electricity. Thank you very much. Kill 'em.